Charlotte, North Carolina. And in moving to Charlotte, it just opened my eyes to, like, I could actually be more than where I'm from, right? So, you know, being a leader, I work at a major telecommunication company. And being there, I learned how to lead, how to, you know, do Excel. Who was talking about Excel earlier? Somebody in here was talking about Excel earlier, but I learned how to do all of that good stuff in order to, like, lead a company. And they taught me a lot. So in that, I said, you know what? I could do content creation. Told my wife, I know I could do it. I could do YouTube, and I could blow. It could be a thing. So I started a YouTube channel, 0 subscribers, 0 following. And within less than a year, it went up to 43,000 subscribers. And the channel itself really started taking off. And because of this takeoff, I started a dating show. The dating show I started is called Meet to Marry. And in that show, it started masking thousands of people watching, and we started our first episodes this year in January, and in 1 year we went well over 100,000 views just on a few episodes, and the show started taking off. So with that being said, I would love to meet all of y'all and hear questions that you may have for me to ask about, you know, content creation, media, anything along those lines that you are interested in getting into, and just growth, right? That's what we're here for. We're here to grow as individuals in every way. So
you started out as a field technician and worked your way into leadership. What lessons did that journey teach you about your perseverance and purpose?
So what it showed me was that I'm more than just the average worker, right? And I think a lot of people get regular jobs, and they look at it like, this is just something that I use to pay bills, as opposed to what can I learn from my job, right, to become and start my own business. So I have employees that's under me, and with those employees that's under me, I'm like, I'm not going to just look at this as, okay, I'm running, you know, this company. No, I'm going to use that information to run my own company. And that's what I encourage people to do.
So let me ask you a question. How does emotional intelligence play into your business of production and entrepreneurship? Because aside to what you told me in reference to Meet to Marry, I know that you've also established other businesses as well.
Yes.
Right? So how does their emotional intelligence play into it? Because you're dealing with, you're dealing with multiple populations, right? And in the personal matters, right? Where they have to be transparent and at the same time actually transparent with, you know, your life and how you handle things. So how does that play into entrepreneurship?
So, well, with emotional intelligence, it's just really understanding how you handle emotions, right? So you're dealing with so many people, and that's the one thing with business. With business, you know, first of all, there's no such thing as business by yourself. Every business has partners. You need partnerships. You need people to grow up with you. So it takes the time for you to really understand who you are emotionally, mentally, to grow. And that's how it helped me. I did go to therapy. I'm not going to lie. I did therapy to understand who I was and where I wanted to go. And talking to the right people helped me be able to understand, okay, once I fixed the problems that I had, I could help you fix your problems.
So GMT Media and Meet to Marry both focus on rebuilding Black love and family. What makes you want to start those conversations, and why do you think it's important to you?
So we're not together anymore, right? I think Black men and Black women have fell astray, right? We beyond trying to, you know, get outside of, I don't want to date each other anymore. Men are not trying to even entertain relationships anymore. Women are kind of feeling like they're done with relationships. No, every community understands this, right? Wealth, right? And wealth comes with family. And the only true way that you could build something major is through family. And every group throughout history has always known that. The building blocks of any society is family, husband, wife, children. And that gives you a reason to strive for more. So that's what I have always been. That's why I'm big on creating relationship content.
Right. Okay. So, if you don't mind me interjecting, may you tell everyone what the acronym GMT stands for your media company?
So GMT stands for Grown Men Talking.
Okay. So, with our young adults here, right? They're definitely in that stage of, trying to get to know one another, right? Trying to figure themselves out, okay? And when it comes to social media, where they're having these dating shows and people popping the balloon, or, your knees too low, or, why your hair look like that? Why your neck look like that? And they just start dismissing people and going viral with that. How do you feel that with what you are creating differs from that and can elevate, right, young minds?
But no slight to them.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at platforms like that, it's way more about virality, right? They're just all trying to go viral. So they're looking for the moments where I disrespect you for how you look, right? They're looking for those moments where, how can I get 1 million views off of trashing somebody, making it a highlight, posting it, and then even putting ad dollars behind it in order for it to blow. My content, if you watch Meet to Marry, it has way more to do with, okay, I'm just the average man, I'm the average woman. Let me put you two in front of each other and let's see what happens. There's even now, we just finished filming our season 3, right? And it's turned into a reality show, so we follow you on dates, we do therapy sessions with you and all of that. And while we're doing this, you get to see real life interactions with people. It's either you like each other or you don't. But that's real dating, right? That's how it goes. It's either I'm into you or I'm not. It's no, I'm just trying to get viral off of disrespecting you. So yeah, we have some funny moments. And for media, y'all will realize you do need that, right? But at the end of the day, you want to overshadow it with love other than disrespect. And that's what the show is really about.
So balancing a corporate career content and creation and family isn't easy. How do you manage to report all of these areas and to show up as your business?
It's rough. Having a work-life balance is always going to be hard, especially when you're building a corporation. And then I always say, how big do you want your business to be, right? So me, I have aspirations to be bigger than Tyler Perry, right? How do I get there? It's hard work. It's every day. I film 5 days a week. So I'll go to work. After work, I'm filming. And if I'm not filming, I'm doing different interviews. I'm like doing so much now. We created our own press store now. So it's a lot. Did it cause a rift between my wife and I? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll have times where it's just like, yo, you're not spending time with me. I'm like, yo, I got to record. You trying to be rich or you trying to be broke? So it's one of those things where you got to find a balance. But I would say when you're in a marriage, when you're in a relationship, and you're trying to build a business, you really want to find that type of balance, right? You want to have, first you need to find somebody that understands what you're trying to do, right? And then there's an agreement with you building something. And then after that, you're going to have disagreements, but, you'll find your way once y'all on the same page.
So when you're saying that, you want to ensure that you have healthy partnerships in your life, right? Like you're talking about your wife and, you also have people that you work with, right? How would, say, like this young group here that's going into multiple different ventures and stuff, right? How could they find healthy partnerships to propel them with what they want to do and also give back to that partnership as young adults?
So I always advise, there should never be a friendship, relationship without it being a barter system. Every friendship, every relationship you're in, you should be getting something out of. You should never be in something where you're not gaining at least knowledge, wisdom, or growth out of it, right? He could tell you, just the way I run my business alone, I built a friendship, but every one of us are valuable parts of that business, right? So I make sure if I hire a videographer, he's the best videographer that you can find. I make sure if I hire an audio engineer, he's the best audio engineer that I could find. And then everyone has a barter with each other. And it's the same thing for my wife, right? We barter with each other, right? Like my wife helps me grow the business on the back end, right? And also she is a host on the show as well. So I incorporated her in the show so she doesn't feel left out. So it's good to not only just be in business, but have somebody that's with you that you could start a business with.
So you talk a lot about love, leadership, and legacy. If you had to pick one, which do you feel is the foundation for the other two, and why?
Leadership to me comes first, right? As a man, if you know how to lead, you can have your wife follow you, which is love, and you can also build a business off of your leadership, because then now you could put everybody else under your tutelage and teach them what you know. So it starts with your leadership as this is for the men. I can't speak on the women, but this is for the men.
So that means you're gonna come back one day with your wife.
And I'm gonna have her talk to the ladies.
So, what advice would you give the young people trying to find their purpose, especially those who might not know where to start or feel like they're behind? What advice would you give them?
Don't give up. The only time you fail at something in life is when you quit. Right? Every millionaire that I've ever been around gave me that same advice. Right? The problem is that you just never know. And when you feel like you're ready to quit, that's the moment you get a breakthrough. That's life. So whenever you're about to hit that edge, you break through. You just got to keep going. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep going. There's that old saying that Nike has, right? Just do it. Just do it. Right? And whatever you have, whatever aspiration, whatever dream you have, just do it. Like, think about this, right? Look at every building that you're looking at right now. Look at the lights. Look at the ground you're walking on. Somebody's idea thought of it, and they made it happen. Why can't you make media happen? Why can't you make an Airbnb happen? Why can't you make Turo happen? Like, why can't you start your own firm, your marketing firm, lawyers? Why can't you do it? If they could think of putting an airplane in the air that weighs tons, you could build a business. Just don't stop.
Does anyone in the audience have any questions for Mr. Mingo?
I did.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Zach. We spoke in the hallway.
Yes.
You emphasize the importance of growth a lot. Do growth happen? Like, does it happen when we move from where we're from? Like,
Oh yeah. No, you growth. You can't be comfortable, right? You should never get comfortable if you want to grow and you want to be somebody in life. Anyone that is big in life did something where people told them no, or where they felt some form of, oh man, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be here, but I have to be here in order to grow. So yeah, never stay complacent. Always move and always think forward. Always. Yeah.
I got two. One's also kind of piggyback off of what she said. So you mentioned how you grew up and you moved and that's what changed. Do you ever see yourself going back to where you came from?
No.
And trying to do things? Okay. And another part is you said so far as that, but wouldn't you say, I wouldn't necessarily say never get comfortable, would you say never settle instead of comfortable? Because to a point, wouldn't you kind of want to be comfortable, but you would never settle because you always want more?
So comfort, right? Comfort keeps people complacent. That's why I say don't get comfortable. Because I always say, how high do you want to grow? Do you want to grow a business to where you're making multi-millions of dollars? Or do you want to grow a business for comfortability, right? Where I just have a comfortable life. I'm just, I could pay my bills, I could pay my rent, I could pay my mortgage, and I could just chill. What level of growth do you want? Comfortability could leave you at a plateau, right? But when you break through the comfortable levels and you just start to grind and go, then you're never going to be comfortable. I have a lot right now. I have a beautiful house. I have, things in life that I want, but I want more. And I could see myself having a multi-million-dollar mansion, and I'm going to want to buy an airplane at some point. So I'll never get comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
How is that to your family? Because would you ever want them to feel comfortable where they are? Like, I know you never want to get comfortable because you still want more. That's why I said so far it's never settled, because always go for what you want. But would you want them to get comfortable at a point too, or would you tell them, like, no?
Well, you see, that's why I always say find somebody that knows you, right? My wife knows me, right? If my wife was the type of person, I don't even think we would have been together if she was the type of person that was like, okay, we're good right here, stop growing, right? I personally, wouldn't want to be with a wife like that, if that makes sense. I would want a person that's going to push their men, because it's like it kind of gives men this drive that's naturally in us. So that drive is why you'll see people building towers, right? You'll see people building the roads, the airplanes, because they just kept pushing, even when there was no level, no room for comfortability. So yeah, I want my family to be comfortable. I don't mind being uncomfortable.
So let me ask this question, right? With Shantae. Are you asking about comfort in reference to like space and stability? Or are you referencing comfort as far as development?
So development, no, that's not. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Okay.
so far it's like stability and all that, where it's
Gotcha.
like comfortable.
Okay.
So I answered your question, or
Yeah, did he answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go.
I just want to double check. Okay. Yep.
Talk to me.
So
Yeah.
how would you deal with your significant other if they're only pushing you to be so they can be comfortable?
So if she's pushing me so she could be comfortable, or I always say when you find, and this is more towards a relationship type topic. When you find your wife or husband, right? I think a lot of us don't vet them right. So we tend to find people just because we're attracted to them and not for who they really, are, right? And when you find that person, you'll be on the same page. Like, it should never be somebody doing something for their own benefit in a relationship. It should always be, we're doing this for each other, right? I'm pushing you as your wife because I know I know your potential, and I know what you could do for the family, right? And the same goes for a husband to a wife, right? You want to make sure, however you're encouraging your wife, you're encouraging her in a way to where she now feels comfortable enough to support you in whatever you want to do to build for the family. So it should be more of that, as I mentioned earlier, barter, right? We're both getting something out of this, right? So I would recommend to anyone that's currently looking for any relationship, especially something serious, for you to more keep it to where you guys are really vetting each other out. And I know that might be taboo today. Y'all young, so a lot of young people just be trying to have fun. But I mean, as you get older in life, you'll realize like the person that you pick is the most important person you'll ever be with in your life. It's the most important decision you'll ever make in your life.
Okay, so I have one more question before I let the audience take over with the questions. So, if you were to see your younger self today, what would you tell?
I would tell myself to start earlier. I would tell myself to start when I was your age, right? I feel as if we young people feel like you have a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that I got lucky, but people that I grew up with and know didn't, right? So they didn't make it out the hood, and some of them are no longer with us, right? So they took advantage of, they took for granted that time, right? But if you start young and you start to really have a clear head at a younger age, you'll realize that by the time you're my age, sky's the limit.
Does anybody in the audience have? There you go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I feel like there's a lot of excuses you can make in terms of not reaching success. There's a lot of self-belief, self-esteem. So I want to ask, like, what happened for you or in your life, or that made you say, okay, no matter what happens, no matter how much I doubt myself, no matter how much things get in my way, that I can achieve this thing. Because I know a lot of people, there's those things coming into their minds, but a lot of times there's an event that happens that they see, or they see people being successful, or see something that makes them say, okay, this is the decision I made to be successful. What was that for you?
So y'all got a little bit of time? Y'all got a little bit of time. I know y'all hungry. But so basically, when I was young, right, like I'm talking about younger than young, I was called stupid. I was told I wasn't gonna amount to much. It was a lot, right? But I always had something in me that was like, yo, I can prove y'all wrong, because I'm different. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how I was different. I used to do music back in the day, so I used to rap. I was around some of the greatest musicians in the world.
Go ahead, tell them.
And
Tell them who you used to represent.
so for real, like, so Corey Rooney, I don't know, y'all probably don't know who he is, but Corey wrote Real Love for Mary J. Blige, Independent Women for Destiny's Child. He and I grew a friendship with each other, but he's literally He made 50 cents. He was the first person who signed 50 before Eminem did. I used to run in his circle. And he took me under his tutelage and taught me a lot and helped me with my confidence. I always say as young people, you need to know who to trust, right? But you also want to keep in mind of having the right people around you for the right reasons. Where do you want to go in life? If you are trying to be on top of your game, surround yourself with people that's at the top of the game. Now, the other part to it, though, is how do you get to those people? Well, a lot of that has to do with your personality. You see, everybody that I know that's rich, everybody that I know that's made it far in life, they have a certain way where they like to teach and tutor young, right? Because they want people to make it to their level, but they're not going to give you nothing, right? So it's a sink and swim thing. Figure it out, but I'm going to give you the tools that you need. So what I did was to get to where I have this confidence in myself, was surrounded myself by confident people, right? So even when I heard that I wasn't good enough, they told me I was, right? And then that built this level of confidence in me to where I knew, like, yo, hold up. I might have started here, but it's all about where I end up in life. It's never where you start. So I focus more on that.
So do you have a defining moment?
Like that clicking point.
Like
Something like a brain switch.
yeah.
Okay, so for me, my maturity really came when I found my wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna hold you. When I found my wife, it was that as we was talking about earlier, it wasn't that she told me I needed to do something more, but she inspired me to do something more, right? She inspired me to make her a stay-at-home wife. She wanted to work. I'm like, I don't want you to work. I don't want nobody telling you punch a clock. I want to be the one to basically build and provide for the family. So finding her and having an inspirational woman, for me, it won't be that for everybody, right? But for me, that was my defining moment. Being inspired, yes.
So how you said that surround yourself with people that actually want to do stuff. Do you feel like let's say you have a group of close friends, do you feel like you can build with them?
You can, but your friends need to be like-minded, right? You don't want to surround yourself. You don't want to be the smartest person in your group, right? All of y'all should be challenging each other. So if you're ever around people in life and you realize, like, man, I'm trying to build something, you trying to go to the club. I'm trying to do something major, and all you think about is women. You know what I'm saying? So for the ladies, vice versa. Yo, you think about this dude, but I got this whole business I'm trying to start right here, and you chasing after some dude that you know ain't gonna marry you. Like, what are we doing? You should not be the smartest person in the pack. So y'all gotta separate yourselves. I don't care how cool you are with this person today. If that person does not have dreams and aspirations to be more in life, bounce. Bounce.
So, Boom, you say you're from New York, right?
Yeah.
So I was wondering, how...
You from New York too?
Yeah, I'm from New
I
York.
heard the yo boom.
So basically, I was wondering, like, so you had the opportunity to make it out from where you was from, right? How have you gone back and expanded knowledge back to the community that you're from?
So here's the thing, right? And I think a lot of people will realize this. A lot of people I know did that. You ever heard of a musician? He was a rapper. He came out of New York. His name is Stack Bundles. Stack Bundles, we grew up together. And literally he signed with Jim Jones and that whole Dipset squad. And he was on all the radio stations, everything, Hot 97, everything. Went back to the hood. One day just hanging out.
Yeah.
Somebody didn't like the fact that he was blowing up, and guess what happened to him? Yeah, he's not here no more. Another person that grew up with us too. Same thing, rapper. He's not with us no more either. You don't probably know Chinks Drugs. He ain't with us no more either. So these are what happen when you try to go back. Now, here's what I do, right? I don't close doors to people that want to know something. Even y'all. Any one of y'all can hit me up on Instagram and say, mentor me, and I will work with you, right? So that's how you do. It probably won't be the people in your hood that you grew up with. That's going to be the ones that want to grow. That's okay. There's millions of people on this planet, and there's millions of people that's around this country that would love to talk to you once they see you grow. So talk to those people. Yeah.
Piggyback. What borough?
What borough? I'm from Queens.
Bronx.
Bronx.
That's
Yes.
You never told me that. You gonna fight after
What's up?
You gonna fight after
As an entrepreneur,
Now I know.
there's times that we get
Yes.
stuck and you see no change or you meet your goals and surpass the standards you set for yourself. Could you give us advice on how to get over that hump?
The best advice I could give you when you're at that dry spell, when you just can't feel like, you feel like it's just not gonna go, as I said earlier, keep going. Keep going. So here's the problem with a lot of people that try to grow in business, right? What they don't do is change. So especially content creators. Content creators is famous for this. You start a certain way, you try to end a certain way. And that's the dumbest thing you can do as a content creator or as any business owner. If you realize that you have a formula that's not working, what do? You change your formula. You can still have the same goal, right? But change it. Those of you who do YouTube, if you're not getting views, it's because your thumbnail is whack. Change your thumbnail, right? And test different things. Try something new in business in order to help your business grow. But most people think that what you have is just so good and people are going to love it. And then when they don't respond to it, you give up. That's your problem. It's not that people don't love what you have. The problem is that you just don't want to change. So change is what I'm saying. I see it all the time in different industries. Like when my Airbnb wasn't selling, I had to start doing different things. So I put an arcade in it. So when you rent my Airbnb, you got an arcade now. You know what I'm saying? So I marketed that. I was the only one in Charlotte doing that, right? You change, you figure out what could you do different in order to get the big clientele, but you never stay the same. Never stay the same.
So, you started off and you said telecommunications, that's right? So, for me, it's like, how was the transition from telecommunications to reality TV to reality dating? Because I don't.
You're like, where's that connect? So dating and relationship topics has always been a thing of mine, right? Telecommunications is a job, right? That pays the bills. But dating and relationship, the topic in and of itself has always been like all right, this is what you do. You know, I'm having arguments at Christmas on the Christmas table with my whole family, like, y'all don't understand what y'all talking about. Look at us, we're a disaster and all of this craziness is happening. So I'm like, how do I, transform that to where it's content? Because I'm so passionate about getting people together and married that, so it didn't really have anything to do with the industry. The industry itself had more to do with teaching me how to be a manager, right? The content creation part has a lot to do with my passion.
So you just start off like recording on your phone?
No, it's so crazy. I started off doing reactions on YouTube. So what I would do is I would take I didn't even know how to use a camera, nothing. I didn't own a camera. I would just use the camera that was on my computer. And I would just learn how to edit a little bit in CapCut. And I would just record me reacting to somebody on a green screen behind me, right? And I was just doing that. That's how I started. And then it turned into panels. So I'm like, you know what? I really just want to talk to people. So I had like 10 people panels I was doing every Sunday and every Tuesday. I had a show, Grown Men Talking, where it was me and 4 guys, 5 women. So it was 10 of us on a panel, and we'll just argue all Sunday evening about different relationship topics. But the audience started growing, so people started super chatting me on, because I got monetized on YouTube. So people started super chatting $500. So I was like, this is for me. This is for me. So.
Okay, so we have time for 2 more questions, and after that, we're going to wrap it up. Anybody else?
Okay, so I have a question. So you did telecommunications, you did content creating, and then you even said Airbnb. As someone just in the younger demographics right now, you're told you need to find what you like and focus on it, right? But how is that with all your different interests and you making sure you're successful in each one? How are you juggling that? How do you, I guess, focus on it, but at the same time do something else?
So I'll say a lot of people don't think they got time, but you got time. The problem that you use is how you use your time. right? You got 24 hours in a day. How much of that are you sleeping at night? I'm not going to tell y'all not to sleep for 8 hours, right? I ain't going to tell y'all that. But I don't sleep 8 hours. I sleep 5 hours, right? I wake up early in the morning and I start doing research. That's my mornings every day. On top of that, I stop scrolling on social media frivolously. A lot of people do that. How often are you scrolling on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook or whatever, Snapchat, looking at other people's stuff that's not giving you any value, right? So all of those hours, go on your analytics on Instagram and look at how much time you actually watched Instagram, TikTok. It'll tell you. If you are hitting 14 hours at the end of your week, you got a problem. 14 hours could have been spent investing in your own business, but you spent it focusing on social media. So we all have more time than we think. We just don't utilize our time right. That's the problem. So,
Thank you.
no problem. Talk to me.
So how did you find the connections to make the leap to your business? Because don't you need you need people to come on the show, you need cameramen, you need all types of stuff. So how did you get all that?
I love that question, and I love answering it too. So basically, if you believe in something, you'll get people to believe in you, right? And it depends, right? You ever heard of the saying, if you build it, they will come, right? So what happened was I had my YouTube channel. Of course, now it's a vanity metrics, right? People are seeing, yo, you got 40-something thousand subscribers. How'd you do that? Okay, I have a show idea. Well, somebody comes up to me, you do cameras. You're great at cameras. Okay, I have the show. I'm giving you an opportunity to build a show with me. You want to do it? Cool. I got a cameraman now, right? I don't know cameras. I can't edit. I can't do none of that. So now I need somebody that understands lighting, right? Lighting is one of the most important parts. How do I get that? Okay, let me pitch what I'm doing to somebody that does that. Y'all, I need a light person. Got this show idea, but I don't know how to put it together. Yo, I'm trying to do it too, but I don't have an opportunity. Somebody asked me something about friends and could you grow with your friends? This is where that comes valuable, right? All of y'all shouldn't be trying to do the same exact thing. All of y'all should be doing different things, but just trying to be the best at it. But so long as y'all are all great, he's great at camera, he's great at lights, he's a good audio engineer. This person understands how to network and put an admin team together and get contestants. This is how you build a business with friends, right? Everybody has to really want it, but there has to be one head. So if you spearheaded the project, everybody got to know you the boss. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I go. You the boss, you run it, but this is our project. So here's another thing too. I believe it's selling the project to you. So I'm selling it to you as it's your business too. It's not just mine. Yeah, it was my idea, but I couldn't do this without you. I don't know video. I can't edit. So yeah, you got 50-50 stake in this with me too. We add on somebody else. Okay, we splitting that 3 ways. I add on somebody else. We splitting that 4. And everybody else get paid day rates. That's how you build a business. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So that's it.
That's a good way to wait.
Go.
Hi. How do you get past fear? Just like in life, how do you get past fear when you're reaching towards something that you want to do?
You gotta have a release of doubt, right? You have to know that your idea is just as good as any other idea out there. You're gonna have fear though. I think fear is something that it's put in all of us for a reason, and it keeps us safe, right? Mm-hmm. We all fear things. You fear if somebody come pull out a gun, fear kicks in. It keeps you safe. You'll figure out what to do. So fear is natural. So don't feel as if, oh, I'm scared, so I don't know what to do and I don't know how to get there. No, feel it, embrace it, but then release it, right? And then just continue. So that's my biggest thing. Feel it, release it, and continue. And you'll get over anything you try to go through in life. You know. That's how I go.
Thank you.
Can we get a picture, y'all? Can we all get a big group?